Game Club, episode 22.
And a hearty, that's what she said to you, sir. Well, so this is Game Club episode 22 again.
22-2.
Because we recorded all of this, and then it turns out we weren't recording any of this.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens, man, when you're having too much fun.
I want to prove to our viewers how dedicated I am. I could be playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now. It's sitting at my house. But instead, I'm having to do this crappy podcast.
This crappy podcast, dude, we made 41 cents in the last
31
days.
I could be playing Hellion and drifting off into space waiting to die, but here I am.
Here I am, yeah.
I could be working on a thesis and out serving the community of the homeless, which I normally do on Tuesday afternoons, but
yawn.
Here I am.
Oh, look at me. I'm a pastor.
I am morally
I do
above all of
pastor
you.
things.
A pastured.
Yeah, pastured. Yeah. So what do we got today?
Well, the first piece of news is...
Clash Royale! Dun, da, 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 na, 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 na. Okay, so on March 2nd or March 5th, there's going to be supposedly a new update that's coming out, balance changes and things like this. There has been some leakage out of the Clash Royale bathroom about potential new cards that are coming into play.
They better plunge that.
Yeah, so one of the cards that they have is called the Barbarian Hut, which releases two barbarians every 14 seconds. So now there's potentially going to be an elite Barbarian Hut, or I don't know what's so funny, or an Archer Queen.
I'm still on the metaphor of the toilet here.
All right. So they're thinking about bringing in the Archer Queen as well, which could be really cool, or some type of dragon or a goblin like gun, like a cannon.
Isn't Archer? Oh no, Archer's codename is Duchess.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be really cool if Duchess ended up in Clash Royale, though.
The Archer Duchess.
So some of the things, the Goblin Gun would, if it is true, it would cost 4 elixirs and would shoot out goblins every second and a half. And
That's a lot of goblins.
These are all leaks from Opigate Studios. The Goblin Gun would have a lifespan of 40 seconds, which is a little bit longer than a medium or average length in terms of what a card like that could be. The Elite Barb Hut would be pretty nice. It would be pretty OP, though, but it would cost 9 of your 10 elixir if you wanted to try and use it. So, anyway, we don't know if these things are coming out for sure, but it is fun to kind of speculate how the game is constantly upgrading and evolving. If you guys watched our last video, you'll have seen that Clash Royale made over $1 billion since it's not even been out a year yet. $1 billion. That's with a B. More money than... most people, not as much as the F&W Game Club, but it is something to look out for and really just to kind of be aware of. Mobile games are only getting more popular, James, and eventually you and I are going to be sitting...
That's why we can't afford to stop homelessness and poverty, because we got too much Clash Royale to play.
Well, eventually you're going to be playing that with me, just by way of the mobile gaming world completely subsuming all of Sony and Microsoft. So I look forward to those days. Over to you on the crappy side of the desk.
All right. Okay. So I thought we'd get a catch up on VR news. There's a lot of interesting news. We've discussed in previous weeks, like, is VR dead on arrival?
Yes.
Is there a future for VR?
No.
And it just so happens that in the last week, there's been a number of things that released that kind of give us a greater picture of what's going on. One thing I found very interesting is that, let me get his name here. Oh, nope. Not a touchscreen. Using the non-touchscreen laptop over here. There was at DICE 2017, there was sort of coming together of heads of Oculus and various VR industry people. And something was said that I thought was very interesting, that he was saying that those who developed and created VR headsets and released them recently, they're really happy with the way things are going and their sales.
So poorly?
Yeah, they're happy with that
because the VR though did pretty well. Yeah, you're right.
He blames sort of the way the conversation is headed right now about VR on media. Media got way too overhyped for VR, thinking that in a year everything would just sort of be completely different and changed.
We'll be all on holodecks by this time next year.
Yeah, and all sales would
be so
exit
cool.
Other gaming and go right to VR kind of thing. And he said those who are actually developing and releasing VR technology knew that was not going to be the case.
Right.
That there was going to be a very humble beginning, and that based on their appropriate expectations, they were very happy with how the first year of VR went, and that and it's from this small basis that they can build and build and build and create something larger. And I thought that was interesting. And on top of that, news and that perspective from DICE 2017, it just so happens that Polygon reports on it's actually New York Times who reports it, but we're getting the information from Polygon, that in a interview, Andrew House let slip, he just sort of released the number of PSVR units that they've sold so far since release. And I remember...
take a guess.
You're going to take a guess?
Yeah.
Is it going to be right on the money this time?
No, I would say just under 1 million.
Oh, yeah. So when we recorded this the first time...
$1, Bob.
You said 500,000.
I did.
And it turns out it's 915,000 units, which is nearly 1 million, which is really good. A lot better than I expected.
Yeah, substantially.
Because we were receiving these various different narratives about PSVR. Some people were saying it was totally sold out, couldn't find it anywhere. Others were saying no, like you go to certain stores and they're just overstocked with them. And it was unclear whether PSVR was doing great or not very well. And Sony, up until this point, hadn't really given any strong numbers.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know why that is, because usually when a Sony console is doing well, Sony is willing to talk about it immediately.
Isn't 1 million kind of the threshold for...
That's a great
for
start.
sort of rolling out something brand new?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about a console PlayStation 4,
a brand new piece of equipment, though.
Yeah, that's an excellent start.
Yeah, okay.
I would think that they're very happy with nearly 1 million sales. Maybe they're waiting for the 1 million mark to be officially crossed before they said anything, or maybe they just want to hype it up at the next E3 about how great PSVR is doing.
Yeah, look, we've already sold 1 million of these.
Yeah, people also thought that possibly it wasn't doing that well because in the last 2 press conferences Sony has done, I believe one of them was PSX, and I can't remember what the other recent one was. It was probably one of the PAX conferences, that they almost didn't mention VR at all. And so people were thinking, uh-oh.
That's so weird to me.
But if they're selling so well,
yeah, that's what
right?
I mean, they're obviously intentionally playing it close to the vest. I can't imagine anybody at PS does anything on accident.
Now, what this doesn't necessarily suggest, though, is whether Sony is going to be developing any more worthwhile games. Obviously, they'll let other people develop games for them, but I don't think there's much on the horizon that's been mentioned yet. Resident Evil 7 was the last big PSVR game, on the AAA quality side of things. And I don't know if there's much announced.
That didn't do that well, did it?
Resident Evil 7 sold pretty good. I don't know if the VR was very well regarded. I've played the game, but not on VR.
What did you think of the actual game?
I think the actual game is great. I think it's a perfect step for Resident Evil. It's called Resident Evil 7, and they're insisting that it exists in the same universe as all of the others. But speaking from a philosophical design standpoint, not from the plot, but from the design, it seems like they went back to Resident Evil 1 and decided, if we made a sequel for today, what would we do now if we forgot about 2 through 6? And
let's just burn 2 through 6 to the ground.
And so what they did was, they kept a lot of the puzzle elements, they kept the confinement, they kept sort of the loss of complete control of yourself. Yeah. But then instead of whereas Resident Evil 2 kind of doubles down on some of the action and the gunplay, and that keeps getting doubled down on as the series continues, this really limits that and really depowers you and makes you surrounded by things you can't possibly defeat, which ups the horror ante quite a bit.
Certainly.
Yeah, so I'm really liking it. Also in VR, though, those last 2 news stories were positive news stories, but here comes our third. As we've already reported, Zenimax had won a $500 million lawsuit against Oculus Rift, claiming allegedly that the founders of Oculus stole some of the code from Zenimax when they left the company and to start Oculus Rift. And they wanted multiple billions of dollars. What they got was $500 million. But the more significant element of that win is people were afraid that based on that win, they could request that Oculus sales be halted. And in fact,
injunction
has happened. That Zenimax has requested that the courts halt all sales of Oculus. As of the time of this video, it's not clear whether the courts have accepted that or if they've enacted that. But I imagine a decision will be made fairly quickly.
I love how the Zenimax lawyers say that the damages don't go far enough. Like the $500 million that they get.
It's just $500 million,
just
guys.
Geez, man, how How much do you need?
They want that Facebook money.
And, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. They should just request Facebook.
Yeah. I don't want any of this MySpace crap.
Moving on. Maybe possibly good news, possibly bad news, depending on your perspective on Ubisoft and
This is terrifying.
Telltale.
This is terrifying news.
Terrifying news. So it has been reported that Ubisoft has
No longer
hired,
wants to make video games.
zing.
Okay.
Ubisoft has hired
Nailed
4 very important, very significant Telltale employees, basically poached the best of Telltale in the form of Dennis Lennart, Nick Herman, Pierre Choret, and Adam Sorenson. And I won't go into the details of all the different jobs they did, but put it this way, they were the biggest minds behind Walking Dead Season 1, Walking Dead Season 2, and Wolf Among Us.
Those are the best titles that Telltale has.
Right, those are... So... On the one hand, that's scary news for Telltale fans because I don't know. I mean, obviously, it takes more than 4 people to make a video game.
Take 6.
But it does take strong leadership. It does take strong leadership to lead your team. And these are strong leaders being poached. You smoking but not smoking?
No, I don't want to burp into the mic.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta save that for
Look
the
like
other-
you're kissing a ghost right here.
Save that for the... I forgot that it's being recorded. It's not an audio-only podcast.
At least it's not going on the internet.
Yeah. Really, really helpful here. Sorry.
Now, the other side of this is this seems to suggest the fact that Ubisoft would purposely hire 4 people from Telltale, that maybe Ubisoft is going to get into the sort of narrative-driven games that Telltale does, right? That we might be seeing from Ubisoft, the kind of thing we've seen already from Square Enix in the form of Life is Strange.
What do you think Ubisoft's biggest game franchise is?
What are their biggest game franchises? Well, they have Far Cry, they have Assassin's Creed.
Okay, so what if we saw in one of those two just be
an
ending
Assassin's
up as like
Creed spin-off? I could totally see that
like a
happening.
narrative.
Chris, you totally could see that happening though, can't you?
Yeah.
Because they spin off the Assassin's Creed on all kinds of things.
That would be awful. The whole point of
Chris
Assassin's
hates Telltale games.
Creed. The whole point of Assassin's Creed is playing the game and like doing all the parts.
The whole point of an Assassin's Creed is playing the game.
Well, you don't play a Telltale game. You watch a Telltale game.
And you direct a Telltale game.
You influence it.
Yeah, that's a good one. You influence it.
You make critical decisions.
You might as well just sit and pray.
Both are worthless.
But whoa,
No, I'm just kidding.
whoa.
Wow.
It's funny.
That's how Josh got fired.
It's funny because I'm appealing to our atheist subscribers.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no,
Hey, Mom.
Edit this video.
Well, okay, moving on. Chris, you had some PC news.
AMD Ryzen or is it Risen? Has anybody said yet?
I would say Ryzen.
I don't know. Maybe if I watch these stupid autoplay videos, but I hate people who put autoplay videos on their site, so I won't.
Risen it is.
I'm going with Ryzen. AMD's Ryzen comes out in March 2nd, which is just a couple days.
Which is the same time as the Clash Royale update. So be sure to look out for
Let me
both
get
of those
the
things.
video.
I think that's a
Ryzen
day before
trailer.
the Nintendo Switch.
No
Really? Nintendo comes out
one
that day?
cares.
Friday?
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, people like the Ryzen are excited about the Ryzen because in certain benchmarks it's beating out the Intel chips. And it's also way cheaper.
Okay, this is what we're saying here. Okay, and we had a huge debate on this that almost ended up in fisticuffs on the first recording. That
I
VR
destroyed a guy's head.
Yeah, I've been.
We'll
you
never
probably-
have that guest on
You should
again.
probably lay low for a while. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You're probably wanted for murder.
Brick stabbed a guy.
But you can have cutting edge technology at very affordable prices.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Now,
This is the dance. We talked about this dance the first time we discussed this. That the dance is
everybody look at your pens.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, one major chip maker like Intel produces the new chip that's going to be cutting edge in a myriad of ways, and then AMD, right? I'm not confusing right. Yeah. AMD then creates the response to that. And it goes back and forth, and in my experience, Intel tends to always be the better end of that dance, right? They usually have the better reputation.
Well, this is the beauty of competition in open markets, right?
Right.
Because now Intel, in response to the Ryzen chip, has slashed prices on their chips.
Oh, that's
By how
nice.
much?
I don't know. Go look on Amazon if you want to see.
But
Because
I
there's
mean,
a bunch of different chips.
So
too.
you've been an Intel guy since 2012. Would something like this make you switch?
No.
So you're sticking with Intel.
Yeah, I'll stick with Intel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't built a computer in a long time, but when I did, I remember the sort of general principles put out there by people who knew well was that even though you could maybe get a chip, a comparable AMD chip to an Intel chip for cheaper on the AMD side, there's always bottlenecking problems.
So like you can get a cheaper HP laptop, but you're probably just safer to go with an Apple.
No, that is not true. Not true.
Ipso facto, ergo cogito sum.
If you want to buy a computer that can do nothing
not a
but
thing.
email and browse the internet, yeah, go ahead, get your expensive Mac. But I'd like to spend a little less and be able to do everything. That'd be great.
Yeah, with those crazy beat systems you got, those Beats by Dre, you so lovingly listen to all the time.
What? We're way off track.
James has Beats by Dre's in his headphones on his computer.
In my laptop. My laptop just came with it. It was just one of those features that was there.
bundleware.
Yeah. Beats by Dre.
Trash. James
When you
buys trash.
When you turn on Beats by Dre, it just sends all the bass
Sup,
features
player?
to 10. That's all it does.
Yeah, so then your laptop goes.
It like starts moving off the table.
Wait, all it really does is turn the bass up to 10?
Yes.
your laptop is the
It
equivalent.
was so cheap.
That's the stupidest thing in the world.
It's the laptop equivalent of a hoopty car with the trunk rattling as it goes down the street, right? Every time the bass hits.
Or like a 97 Nissan Sentra with a huge muffler
Yeah.
on it.
What was that mockumentary about a fake metal band?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. They should have a Beats by Spinal Tap, and when you turn it on, your audio can go to 11.
That would be awesome. I'd pay for that.
Okay, moving on. Wait, was there anything else about that, Chris?
No, just latest and greatest.
Yeah. Moving on. I'm happy about this. So I'm a big fan of a game called Towerfall, Towerfall Ascension, and it was a game that was on Steam. I believe it was also on PS4. I'm not sure about that. I played it on Steam, and it's up to 4 players, PvP. You're jumping around in like an 8-bit stage and shooting arrows at each other. You can even grab each other's arrows out of the air if you're really like quick about it. And then there was like some levels there and some tournament stuff. And it was just this awesome, really fun game. And I haven't heard much from the company that developed that game, but recently they revealed their next game called Celeste. Starts with a C, Celeste. And there's the mountain. And it's a game that's touting having 250 stages, same graphic style, but instead of PvP, it's going to be precision platforming. And I'm very excited. I love precision platforming.
I hate it.
I'm climbing the mountain.
Really?
Yeah.
What is precision platforming for those
Makes
of
me
our
wanna,
viewers who
like,
don't know?
throw controllers through TV screens.
Well, I mean, so when we can talk about platforming. Platforming is when you have to do a lot of jumping generally onto platforms. And some games are real floating. The platforming is real easy. It's something like you could give to a kindergartner and they'll just nail it, no problem. But then there's those games that like the
Prince of
platforming.
Persia?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's those games that platforming is incredibly difficult and it takes a lot of
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Precision.
I just don't know if our viewers know.
and so all those viewers who watch Game Club, they
All
don't
those-
know what platforming is.
Well, I mean, precision platforming might be.
So a
different.
good example of a modern precision platforming game would be Super Meat Boy. That you can do the first couple of levels of Super Meat Boy fairly easily, but all of a sudden it like cranks up to 11 because Spinal Tap comes in.
Yeah.
And it gets really hard. And you have to really be precise and really like craft your ability to play platforming games. And Celeste is going to be that way. If you watch the video trailer for Celeste, you can just tell it's a bear. It's gonna require practice. Rawr. Anyway, I just tried to touch screen your laptop
you're
again.
messing it up.
It's just a Mac.
No, it's not
I
good
mean,
for it.
who cares? Who cares?
Not
It's just
good
a
for
Mac.
I have to take it to the Mac Genius to get it fixed.
Fans of Mass Effect and fans of Cards Against Humanity. Finally, these two things.
Mass
are,
Effect against humanity.
No.
That would be a pretty good name, though.
Yeah. The real name is
Yeah.
something very dirty. But you can go to MassEffectPack.com, and what they have there, you'll see, is an expansion, a small expansion for Cards Against Humanity that is Mass Effect themed.
Don't go to that site at work.
Yeah. The website
Or on your friend's
is
laptop and not
safe
your
for
own.
So
Oh man.
it's only 14 cards, but at the same time it only costs $1. So that's a great deal. I wish it was a lot. I would have spent a lot more money to have a lot more cards, but I guess,
Mr. Moneybags over here. I would have spent $3 whole for 3 times the
We can
cards.
actually afford the Mass Effect booster pack for Cards Against Humanity with the money that we've made from Game Club. All right, with change.
with change.
And we could get some bacon bites from Little Caesars.
All right, well, we got our Friday night taken care of.
You know what? We talked about one last thing. Did you want to talk about that, or should we just stop?
Who cares?
No, I'm good.
Well, you know what? Irrational does not deserve our attention. So
Yeah,
we're out. Please like and subscribe and share and all of that stuff. Find all of our information in the description. Have a great day.